and all three of you have surfaced in a bright and sunny area. Before you have a chance to wonder where you are, Sherazad provides an answer. What the hunters see before them is the dream world created by Tuvstar's wish. It is a land of joy, happiness, and goodness. Here the days are eternal, bees never sting, and nature provides everything those who live here need. It is made of all that is pure and good, siphoned out of the real world and remodeled according to the will of the child princess. Here, everything is perfect and lush and new. Emerald green grass dotted with more beautiful, sweet smelling flowers than you could count. Crystal clear waters, bright blue skies with perfect fluffy white clouds. In the distance, the sunlight glitters off a castle's golden roof. Sherazad has done a good job of describing the beauty that you find yourselves surrounded by, but if anything, her description has fallen short. Being here, you feel renewed. You are no longer tired, and any aches or pains you had are gone. You feel at peace. And any remaining wounds that anyone may have had are healed. You do not see the princess whose reflection you had seen. However, the plate armor that you saw the reflection of is indeed sitting on the bank of the pond.
Do you think this is hers, or did a knight get this far?
I know you've had a problem with trying to pick up enormous swords and the like, but I do not believe that this would fit a child.
No, but I suppose I don't know, she brought it with her.
Carries it along through the water. To child, this is exactly your area, and magical.
I want to punch Piper in the face.
Like, Jack, I don't. What are you doing?
Is James's hand back?
No, it is not.
This is a load of shit.
He says, I feel like my hand should have grown back, and I'm really annoyed. And everyone else is like, wait, what?
I will go over to where I thought the princess was in the reflection. She will flip over the armor and see if she can see the insignia from the patch.
The armor does indeed have the same symbol as the crest that Baba Yaga picked up.
This matches the armor that the knights have. So it would stand to reason that a knight did indeed make it this far.
I don't see one.
Nor do I. Maybe they already got in here, brought the princess back.
Then who's the girl?
I don't see any girl. Not anymore.
Well, where did she go? Did
I
you
don't
scare her
know.
away?
Maybe she went back with the knight that was here.
You didn't see a knight, just the armor, which is still here.
We didn't pass her on the way down. She wasn't going back.
Maybe we swapped places.
Well, that would be problematic.
Baba Yaga will look at some of the nice stuff.
Piper will start walking around looking.
As Piper is walking farther away from the pond, he will be the first to see an apple tree, under which sits an old man eating one of the tree's perfect looking fruits. Next to him is a sword. He's eating an apple.
Piper will walk up and tip his hat.
And the man will nod to you, and he looks not surprised at first to see you, but then it's almost as though there's something about you that is unexpected to him.
We didn't expect to be here either. A good night to you, good night. Where's the girl?
I assume you are looking for Princess Tubestar?
Yes, indeed.
In that case, I suppose I cannot answer your question, as I am sworn to protect her.
Well, we have a bit of a problem then.
I have no quarrel with you.
I have no quarrel with you. But we have to find the princess.
And I must protect her.
And I must find the princess. You see how this has become a problem?
I suppose I am unable to help you.
No, you're unwilling to help me. There is a difference. You see, there is a curse that has been ruining your land, your kingdom, and even the forest above. It is tied to the disappearance of said princess, the little person who is not in said castle. Returning her to said castle, being said princess, many believe will lift the curse.
But that is not what she wants.
Well, here's the thing. When one becomes a princess, it comes with a great deal of entitlement, but it also comes with a fair amount of responsibility, and that is not always fun. And sometimes those things come up. And one of those things, well, it's come up. She's not a washerwoman. She's not a little schoolgirl. She's not a maid at some tavern in the middle of the night. She is a princess, and you, sir, are meant to be a knight, not a annoying old man with a beard.
I am not exactly a knight anymore. I have abandoned my quest.
Clearly, you've abandoned your dignity, your honor, your reason.
When I first came here, my intention was the same as yours. To bring the princess back. However, when I spoke to her, I saw that that was wrong. She wishes to remain here, and I have vowed to protect her.
And if a knight was going to go charging across the field into battle and went, oh, well, I'd rather sit here under a tree and eat an apple instead because, it doesn't say, I'd much rather do that than actually have the responsibility of being what I'm actually meant to be doing and who I am. That would be perfectly all right. The answer would be no.
I
Sir,
serve
knight.
the princess.
And the princess serves the kingdom.
This is her kingdom.
Not just this little bit that you're in indulging yourself with apples.
He gestures to what is very clearly not a little bit. There is a vast land all around you, at least as big as a country, if not an entire world. And he says, this is her kingdom.
So is that above, and the one that is above is doing rather poorly. So what is it you're protecting?
Princess Tubestar.
For what end?
I have sworn to protect her with my life.
Why?
He seems confused by this. I made a vow.
Which you've broken, obviously, to choose a new one.
Seems very confused.
You were a knight of the realm, correct? You would have had a vow to the king and queen or the kingdom. For you to have taken on this new one and ignore that is a break of a vow.
I was a knight, but that was a long time ago, somewhere far away.
You don't stop being a knight. It's not a pair of trousers that you change when it suits you, sir.
There are others, you know.
Other knights, we met some. They were dead.
That seems to shock him a little, and he looks at you with eyes that look slightly clearer than they have been. Dead?
Baba Yaga, do you not have a crest from one of the knights of the deceased?
When you say that, though, she'll turn and see the person under the tree and come walking over. And who's this then?
He's a knight. Do you have the crest from the knight that was deceased?
I do.
Show him.
She holds up the crest.
He looks at it and his attitude up until now has been one of sort of quiet contentment. Nothing you said seemed to rattle him. You could talk all you wanted about abandoned duty and it just didn't faze him at all. But now he seems distraught. What do you mean they are dead?
Unalive. Unanimated.
What killed them?
Many different things killed them.
What could have... The, the,
The
the forest
curse,
was
perhaps?
a curse, but
One of them, his armor was rusted and tarnished.
a curse. There was something like that.
This place is the source of the curse. The better things are here, the more cursed the other world becomes.
I do not understand. If they are dead, I must return.
Yes. Where's the princess? She must return also. The little one is correct. This place is sucking the life out of everything else.
She will be in the castle, I expect.
He looks for a castle, assuming there's one here.
Yep, you saw it as soon as you entered out of the pond and looked around.
And off Piper goes.
Once upon a time, a child saved the world of fairy tales. His reward was a wish. The one who plots in the shadows saw an opportunity to tarnish the child's heart, whispering words of corruption to him. The child asked the king of fairy tales to grant the villains, accursed for centuries, a new life. This was to be their chance for redemption. This was how the villains became good. But any light needs a shadow, and in turn, the heroes became evil. At that moment, all fairy tales were shattered.
And as you walk, you pass by bountiful fields and a bustling village. Everything is beautiful and bright, but as you observe the people, you notice something seems off. They are repeating the same actions in a loop, and while they look happy and are smiling, none of them seem to interact with each other.
Are we perhaps in a story within a story?
Well, yes. Piper's feeling these are even more not real than the knight, which he was already annoyed that he had to argue with something that he feels wasn't real to begin with, and that he's going to argue with a princess that he also doesn't feel is completely real.
You reach the castle, which is surrounded by beautiful wildflowers, and it is here, outside, amid the flowers, that you find Princess Tubestar weaving daisies. Next to her sits a familiar-looking moose, but he is whole and full of life, not rotting to pieces. Hello? She looks at you confused as no one responds to her greeting.
Hello. Are you the princess?
I am. Alright, and if James is not here, then I need the other two to please make me a defense check. You need a 5.
That is a double failure.
Okay.
A success.
Oh, good, because I don't know what would happen if you both failed.
Actually, it's better. It's one above a success.
And for Piper, nothing is... Well, everything's out of the ordinary, but not any more so than it already was.
You have a wonderful place here.
Yes, it is. Would you like to stay here?
It really is incredible. I think I might.
No, you don't. And Piper will smack Baba Yaga on the back of the head.
You are welcome to stay.
Unfortunately, madam, you are not. Your kingdom is in ruins above. More so, this place is sucking the life from those above.
Look, if she doesn't want to go, why would she want to leave a place like this?
Because she has responsibilities. Because if she's a princess of a realm, she should care about her citizens, her subjects, her people, her plebs.
All my people
They are
are
suffering.
happy.
No, they're not.
They're
dying. Many of
No.
your knights have died trying to find you.
No one has died. Everyone is happy and safe.
She's right, Piper.
No, that is incorrect.
And she looks around, and down the palace steps walk what looks to be her parents, the king and queen, who are smiling, and she gestures to them.
Apparitions. They are not
No.
actually here. They are not real.
They are.
Also incorrect.
You are confusing me. This is my kingdom. There is nowhere else.
No, this is a prison. A very pretty prison, but a prison nonetheless.
Look, Piper, I think you're upsetting her. Maybe you should leave for a while and calm down.
I really want to kill you.
The issue is, right now she'd let you.
This entire place exists for one reason. To keep you here. Why? We don't fully yet know. If my friend here was not bewitched, we might have had some idea. But unfortunately, the great sorceress, the master of magic, is also a bit of a dim-witted fool, obviously. Well done, dunce.
I don't know what you're talking about, but no one has bewitched me. Look, she's just the most perfect and good, innocent person. Everything she's saying is true.
Is designed to keep you here and not to return to your true kingdom, your parents, the realm that is suffering from the curse, of which there most definitely is a curse.
You are speaking nonsense. My parents are right there.
No, they're not.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is where I have always lived. This is my kingdom. She does not appear to be lying to you in any way. She is truly distressed by what you are suggesting and has perhaps no memory truly of having lived anywhere else.
Seeing how the crown and the cloth fits into this.
Okay. Taking them presents no threat to the princess that you're aware of, so you wouldn't prevent Piper from taking them.
He will examine properly now the crown in detail.
It is a golden crown.
No markings?
Mm-mm.
Nothing that leads to the princess?
She's looking sort of curiously at what you're doing.
He's tempted to tie the cloth over her eyes.
He can try if he wants.
Yeah, he will.
She sort of laughs and says, "What are you doing?" And
This
nothing
is a game,
happens.
Piper.
And James will come rushing in. Where the hell did you guys go?
Alright, he needs to make me a defense check. You need a 5.
For God's sake, make this. I am.
It's gonna be
Surrounded by a chorus of...
3v1.
Yeah, it's so lovely here.
failed.
Okay, give me a
Fuck's
second.
sake.
I'll send you a message. All right, Kieran, this is true for you for the rest of the scene. When you started tying the dress around her eyes, she sort of seemed to think perhaps it was some sort of a game, so she's not as distressed, but she's still a little on edge, and she's sort of stroking the moose that is next to her for comfort, and looking at you all with some amount of confusion.
Hoping that because the other one was using like a veil to not have to face the truth, is what I was. And he will place the crown on top of her head.
And she stops still, and her hand goes up to touch it, and she looks as though she might be remembering something, but she looks more distressed.
There is a reality that needs to be faced.
I do not know what you are talking about.
I am aware of that. But there is only one way to bring clarity to your thoughts, and that is to show you.
What do you mean?
We have to leave this place.
Leave? There is nowhere else.
Indeed there is, at the top of the pond.
The pond in the woods, I don't like it there. I won't go there. It's the only thing I can't make go away.
Because it might be the only thing that's real.
Don't
Maybe
know
it's
what you mean.
best if you just leave, Piper.
don't
I
see
think
why
you're
we should
making
force
her
it.
angry.
We are going to have a conversation when this is over.
Sure, we can have it over tea, and maybe some of those apples looked pretty good.
She perks up a little and she reaches out her hand, and a branch from an overhanging apple tree lowers and flowers bloom and instantly become fruit, and she passes them to you.
And this seems natural to you? You believe that the world is built this way?
This is my kingdom.
A kingdom of dreams.
Is that such a bad thing? Even if it were.
No, it would not have been, had not those above been suffering for it.
No one is suffering. Look at the people. They are happy.
Here. They are not real. This place is sucking the life from the kingdom above. From the people above, from your realm.
I think you must be mistaken, Piper.
And so Piper will play. I will spend a soma because this obviously has to be
Yep.
in part. He plays. He's pretty sure he cannot convince her. She's too far gone for that, even if she's got doubts now. But he is aiming at trying to break the spell on his two companions. I spend the soma and impart clarity upon Baba Yaga and Hook.
And I shall say that ends the effect you both had been dealing with.
Because I couldn't take that much longer. Baba Yaga, what is going on? Points to Hook. Get the princess.
James will go behind her and just start to kind of like usher her towards the
What
door.
happened?
You were bewitched.
If James is trying to sort of shoo the princess somewhere, it's not gonna. It's not. She's not having it. She's put her arms around the neck of her moose, and she's
She's
sort of.
not a sheep, Hook.
I am not needed. This is. If I am needed, I am needed here.
I've tried reasoning with her. Hook, grab the little person. Not this one, that one. Ignore the moose.
Hold on. I think I can get through to her.
She got through to you.
She seems more distressed now that two people who'd been sort of backing her up are no longer doing so. She's now very outnumbered in this scenario and is afraid.
But let us motivate our movement as we discuss this particular idea of yours.
Well, James will then grab her by the wrist and yank as hard as he can. What if we kill the moose? Like Chris said, then there's no moose left.
But we don't need to. The moose isn't real.
And as you grab her, she is hysterically sobbing, and all the branches of the trees nearby begin to reach out towards you as though to grab you and stop you from pulling her away. And not only the trees, but all nearby shrubs, grass, bushes, all of them stretch out towards you, and a flock of nearby small birds appear. You didn't see them before, but now they are flying and trying to get at your face and peck you to make you let her go.
Baba Yaga.
Alright, then Baba Yaga will start running.
James can't see. Just leaving.
He's waiting for them to move, then he's gonna run. But
Oh, we're outside. Well, then he'll start moving towards where he thinks the lake is. Fighting off the birds the best he can.
Piper will try to attack the birds without slashing, like, obviously, directly at.
And any that you manage to strike fall to the ground and then turn into colorful butterflies that fly away. And Tubestar is sobbing as hard as she possibly can and digging her heels into the dirt. You are taking her somewhere that she has such a deep desire to never go near. She is inconsolable.
Piper will try to defend Hook as best he can.
All right. And you can continue making your way. Nothing is really going to harm you. Again, her desire is for no one to be harmed, so she's not going to bring anything into being that could actually hurt you. She's just trying to discourage your journey onward. So anything that can grab at you will. Any creatures that can try and make Hook let go will, but nothing's actually going to injure you. So how do you get back to the pond?
So Piper would have unsheathed his rapier, and if the birds are continuing, like if she's forming more ones, he'll keep just as best he can, trying to fend them off so that Hook doesn't get too caught up and can't keep moving. He'll twist and stab and slash, and any of the vines that reach up, if they're not too thick, he'll try to slash them, stop them from grabbing him.
James is doing his best to keep anything like towards his face away.
And inch by inch, despite her protests and her best efforts, you eventually return to the pond. You no longer see the old knight, and you assume he may have already gone back through the water. The surface of the water is still and calm, and from this side, you can see the death and rot on the other side.
James will pull her into the lake with him and dive down.
And Piper will go.
And as you surface back in the real world, you once again hear the voice of the storyteller. As our heroes take Tuvstar back through the pond, her dream world dissolves. The sun begins to shine again. The madness that infected people and animals is forgotten as a passing nightmare. The moose can finally leave his painful existence behind, sighing in relief that Tuvstar is safe and he can rest. Tuvstar, after mourning her friend, returns to her parents and to a kingdom coming back to life. One that does not reflect the sadness that fills her after losing her friend, Scoot. That's the name of the moose. And her dream world. An uncertain future awaits her, as it is not part of our tale. Perhaps she will become a wise queen. Or maybe they will find her little body floating in a forest pond, drowned, after trying to return to a dream world that no longer exists. And so, we have come to the end of our story. As she speaks, Tuvstar's kingdom begins to fade around you, and you again see Sherazad standing before her entranced audience. My thanks to all those who have had the patience to listen to the words of this humble storyteller. But even the most enchanting places cannot delight when you are there against your will. So I think we will bid our protagonists farewell, knowing that the tragic tale of Princess Tuvstar has also touched their hearts. And let your sadness at our parting be tempered by anticipation, for our heroes will be caught in another story before you, or they, know it. With gratitude, I am Sherazad, the Weaver of Tales. She sweeps into a graceful low bow, and her audience applauds fervently. When she rises, her eyes are fixed upon you and are the last thing you see as this scene, too, fades away. And you wake up.
Are we in the same inn?
You are in the inn that you booked a room in and fell asleep at.
That was my dream. Why would I make myself so terrible at everything? That spear was pretty cool, though.
That was an odd dream. I can't help but feel like it was real.
I'm unfamiliar with that name. Piper
None of
writes
you
it down.
have heard the name Sherazad before.
He will write it down for the father. And Piper will get up, get his cane, smack Baba Yaga on the back of the head again. You were a big help. And then go downstairs to the common room.
Dreams feel real while we're in them. It's only when we wake up that we realize something was actually strange.
None of the people you saw in the audience that the storyteller was performing to are people you saw in the inn the night before, or if you head down, none of them are people you see there now.
Is there a blacksmith? 'Cause now James wants a spear.
Not in this inn, there is not.
James will also go head down to the inn.
Okay. It is business as usual in the inn.
He will purchase some breakfast.
Baba Yaga will head down as well. Is anyone in the inn looking at us?
I mean, if you're staring at them trying to tell if they're looking at you wondering why you're doing that. But other than that, no, they're not really paying you any particular attention. And you may do anything you wish, or you may return.
Of breakfast, but he's assuming they're going to return that day.
You don't find anything about a storyteller, but give me a roll. For investigating, you need a 7.
That is a success.
As you search through the town, you notice, as you are searching with magic, a magical aura emanating from a bookstore. And within, you find this.
Okay. So, after finding something in a bookstore, Baba Yaga will head back to the monastery.
Who would have made a report to the father, telling him the Weaver of Tales.
He is both concerned and puzzled.
We didn't learn much else other than that it was he feels it was a story within a story. He doesn't know how much was real, how much, or why this was happening, but he will. Right, but everything he suspects and knows, he will outline.
Okay.
So he would have done his report.
Excellent. And all has been made note of, and members of the Order will surely puzzle over it for who knows how long. Either until it's figured out, or forever.
Then the next day, Baba Yaga shows up at the monastery. And she has a book in hand. She's going to find the others, wherever they are.
Probably the library, drinking tea, looking at a book.
Well, Felix looks at you disapprovingly for drinking tea
Of
in
course.
the library, gasp.
Of course.
Ah, there you are. Is James around here?
He was making some combat dummies particularly unhappy.
Right. Wait here. I'll go grab him. Baba Yaga will grab James and bring him to the library.
But he does inquire if he thinks if you think that he looks good with a spear.
Yeah.
So sincere.
So
And-
sincere.
Iskra, who's out in the yard watching, says, "He's been asking everyone that."
We get back to the library. As you know, I was not satisfied with how the last mission ended. So, after doing a little bit more looking around, I found something. Now, I don't know if it's directly related to our storyteller, but it does have a very powerful magical aura. And I did find it in a library. And she produces a little book. As you look at it, you instantly feel sad. And you feel sort of waves of emotion of past events. She opens the book and says, "The pages here, they illustrate a passion for fairy tales and all of the characters who are parts of them. All of the drawings look like they were done by a child, and they represent the imaginary adventures starring hunters. And they painted them as heroes who saved the world of fairy tales." This last page here, there's a drawing representing a large mansion at the end of a tree-lined avenue. I don't really know what to make of it, but it is a powerful magical item.
It will need study for sure.
There are some drawings that seem to represent the one who wrote the book, and it shows that it's a boy writing it. And it's definitely not Sherazade. At least, well, probably not.
More questions than answers.
All right, and that is the story of Tuvstar's Reflection.
The Broken Tales RPG is released by the World Anvil Publishing, starring Ghost as Piper, SPG as James Henry Hook, Shadow as Baby Yaga, Emily is the Storyteller. Sounds and music by Syrinscape.com and Epidemicsound. You can find us at critfail.com.